Start streaming. Look, and I'm going to press that button, and that's it.
Go
You
on.
can hear you talking now as well.
No.
Are you sure?
No. Let's
No,
go
can't.
back. Go back
Go,
to the
go
main one.
back
Back
again.
to the main one.
You want to go back to that other one?
There
You
we
want that stream? No, not that one. This one.
go.
That one.
Oh.
That's the one. That's the one you want. Hey, how you doing out there in FPV land? In the land of
FPV land.
FPV.
What's
Thanks
that?
for joining us.
Can I open this, by the way? Just to
Go
pick
for
it up.
it. You know?
Poking
Now
it.
that you're doing that, hang on, you're taking my little tiniest of cleaning cloth.
What's that? Oh.
So this is a tiny little cleaning cloth. And
Oh, is that the one that comes with the?
Yes, it's the one
new
that comes
cameras?
with the pinch cameras. So that's the tiniest little cleaning cloth. So you know, it's not for your glasses; it's for the little lens.
I guess you can use it in glass.
Which we're quite impressed with. So
I just use my clothes. That's funny.
Most people do.
How do you
clean your lenses?
How do you clean your lenses?
Well, I normally wipe it on my. No.
Water?
I might.
That's bad.
Why is that bad?
Because it gets like moisture.
Yeah, the moisture is
in
what's
the lens.
picking up the little bits of dirt.
No, but it can get moisture in the lens, no?
Oh, you talking about my glasses or my lenses?
The lenses.
The lens is a lick. That's a
lick in the lens.
No, on your finger. Like that. But look. So this is the pinch. I have to bring it really close because it's that small. Like, look. So that is ever so tiny. That's the smallest form factor camera that I've seen in a very, very long time. And it's actually got quite a big old field of view.
Yeah. Oh, we can actually show them.
Yes,
you have one already.
I do. I've got one on the bimmer there.
Okay.
But yeah, we can show you that in a bit. So yes, the pinch camera, and it comes with its little teeny tiny little lens cleaning.
Does it bring a VTX or is it just a camera?
No, that's I've got just the camera.
I've
bought some just the camera because we're going to put them on other things.
Yeah.
But I've got listed is the camera and the VTX. So you've got with smart audio or without smart audio, and they're in super short supply.
Yes.
But
this works with any VTX anyway.
The camera, the camera will go on any VTX, so you can put that anywhere. So let's just put that lens on for a bit of protective action. So yes, and really nice box art. Like if you was interested in box art, it's actually really quite nice. Very tasty. It's got a little bit of quotes on the bottom as well. A little Leonardo da Vinci quote on the bottom.
Does it say? No, 227.
What? What's your question?
27,000 hertz. It says there.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Stick that back in this box. Very nice. There you go. So, very nice pinch cameras from Tiny Whoop.
Yes.
And I've also got some of the tiny gates, the square gates that make a cubey thing.
Okay.
I've got some of those have just come in.
Yeah.
And it's what a nightmare with shipping.
Why?
They sent it as one, and Parcel Force has decided to make it into 3 different shipments. So
just to get a
a
little
extra bit of clearance charge out of it, you know.
Nice.
So we're waiting on those. So we've had a couple in, and they're very, just pop out into squares. They're awesome, really nice.
We need more. I don't know. We need. Do you think we're missing features for
well, yes, this
courses?
Is interesting. So
as a product.
Okay, this is what I was about to say. So I've actually got in stock 3 different types of gates. Okay. I've got my gates.
Yeah.
I've got newbie join gates.
Yeah.
And tiny whoop gates.
Yes.
But they're all the same.
They're all the same, exactly. So,
there's nothing. There's no.
But they should buy the tiny. Sorry.
They should buy all of them.
the John.
They should buy all of them.
All of them.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Mine are the stiffest, strongest, hardest, thickest material ones.
Thickest.
Yes.
We forgot
the thickness of the materials. Oh yeah, you've got that other chat. But I agree with you. I think that we need some way of having a folding infinity gate or
like
something.
Course.
The problem is that it's got to reduce
the size.
Its size. Yes, yeah, it's got to be.
Because you don't want to bring like a ton of shit in your. In your thing.
No, the issue is
because there's not like on a course. What do you have?
Part of the problem.
Gates and flags.
We've got to start from where the problem comes from.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem comes from there isn't a permanent set up in the UK tiny whoop racetrack.
Yeah.
There's nowhere that's up all day, every day, and that's how it can just sit there.
Yes.
Yeah. Like if you look at Jesse's setup, 3/4 of his track is just there all day long in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he has to store anything anywhere.
Yeah.
Because wherever it is where it's stored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And what I'm seeing in the UK, the problem is that everyone's. Well, I've got to take this away with me from this venue.
Yeah.
Not only where do I put that in my car?
Yeah.
Where do I put that in my house without my missus getting freaked out?
Yeah.
That's the issue. So that's where the problem comes from.
So you want to carry less stuff with you, anyways, because you're gonna.
But you want bigger features. You want them tunnels. You want that mirrored infinity gate. And how are you gonna then? I can imagine trying to do some kind of folding action, or sheets with clips at the corners, so it can unclip, but stay sturdy.
But even then, this as a product doesn't exist. You have to make it.
Yeah, none of these exist as products. It's exactly the point. Is I've got sitting here wanting to encourage people to fly and do awesome racetracks, and all I can offer you are bits of fabric with a hoop.
Yeah.
In different colours.
It's odd because even flags, I think Beta FPV might have
flags. But flags are not that. They're just a bit damn boring, bro. It's like, at the end of the day, a flag, it could be a pole. It doesn't matter, does it? It could be a person. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a feature. A feature to me is tape tunnel, is infinity tunnel, is Rudy's hyperdrive, is stuff like that. But how do you get those features collapsing?
What about using people as features?
Yeah, I like the idea. Look, the idea that I gave to Jesse way back with the balloon hat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went off really well. They loved that out there. But that's that's more like a party
thing. It's not for a racetrack.
You can't have that.
Because the person might, I need to go to the Louvre or whatever.
Well, not even just that, but it's not. You want the track to be the space.
I think it's interesting because for tiny whoop racing, there's something that doesn't exist in regular racing, which is marshals. People helping to flip you over.
Yeah.
Right. So you spend the least amount of time upside down in the ground, and in other races this doesn't exist.
Well, the marshals in other races are to clear you away so whoever's left can carry on going.
Clear me away?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like in other races, when you talk about marshals in racing, is to clear the debris. So you've crashed.
Yeah.
And the marshals are there.
No one's going to do that.
To help the other people. In a racetrack, they pick the car off the road and they
Oh no, I'm talking about racing in drone racing.
In mini quad drone racing, you mean?
Anything that's not tiny whoop.
Yes.
All the racing is
Oh
there.
yeah, okay. So
There's
in
no
mini
marshals.
quads, in mini quads, if you crash, that's it. You're done.
That's it. Yeah.
You're done.
So, but it's a lot of work because you always have to. There's the part where the pilots sit,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. And then there's the rest of the field.
And then there's the rest of the course.
The space.
And that course always ends up in tiny whoop racing. Always end up with someone that just volunteers themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Just going and standing in the middle of the course and seeing like, oh, one crashed here, one crashed there. Why can't we put?
Okay.
Why can't we do little islands of people that would be actually part of the course?
Well, okay, you're going back to ad hoc courses.
Yes.
And more permanent courses.
Yes.
That's you're going back to that. If you had the permanent course mindset, you would work out those points and you'd have a table there and people would be sitting over there anyway.
Exactly.
And look, when you want to marshal, this is the other thing I want to make this point about marshalling. I don't want you to pick me up and put me in your hand and all this shit. No, just turn me over. Yeah. Wherever it is, just turn me over. Yeah. If I'm underneath something, bring me out and put me there to the front of whatever it is, but on the floor, just turn me over. Yeah, there's no ambiguity then.
Exactly.
If you're holding me in your hand and doing all this, you think you're still, but you're not. Yeah, you're like this as far as I'm concerned. You see? So that whole marshalling and how to marshal is also a point to make. But it is awesome that we do have that I'm going to marshal mindset anyway.
Yeah.
Like it's in us anyway. I don't, if I hear something fall, I'm not going to look at it and then look away. I'm going to go and pick and turn it over.
Yeah.
And it's just inbuilt almost in the tiny world.
In the tiny world, yeah.
Because of the safety aspect, you think? Like, I'm not going to go anywhere near your down.
I don't think it's just
I won't go near your mini quad, bros.
But right today, whoops can turtle mode.
Not all of them. So how do I know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
How do I know that you can turtle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's sending us some images.
An image? Oh, a tunnel. Yes, that's a great tunnel, Andy.
Yeah. So tunnels as well, but again, like these tunnels are often sourced from IKEA and whatever.
Okay, so it's not really FPV Andy's material. Put his IKEA tunnel there.
Yeah.
I bought my tunnel very cheap. I think it was on Amazon. I bought my one.
Yeah.
And it's blinking long.
Yeah.
That blue one.
Yeah.
Long, but it's a dog tunnel.
Yes.
Now, I want that with lights in it though.
Exactly.
Because without the lights, it's not as much fun.
Yeah, it's just tunnel.
So exactly.
And it might not have holes, so you have to like cut holes.
So you have to cut little relief holes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Out of it, and then the other problem with those kind of tunnels is rescue.
Yeah. Like it's upside down.
It's upside down. Where in the tunnel?
Yeah.
Am I going to reach in?
Yes, exactly.
Like you're saying, it's not going to work.
So
you can't have that too high.
Yeah.
Is what my real issue is.
Just bouncing up.
Yeah. You need something to,
And you don't know where it is. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Just looking around.
What's that thing, the Spanish that they hit with the stick?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do that thing with it. So there's like a tunnel is great.
Yeah.
And if it is, I've got a problem, as always, with gates and stuff being too low to the ground.
Too low to the ground.
Yeah, and tunnels.
Okay.
Because I'm flying, and to get me that low to the ground, to get through all of those gates and that, I'm losing so much height, and I'm fighting to get back up again, and it makes that gate just not fun to fly through.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on how the entrance for the tunnel is made.
Well, normally in those kind of
environments, you wouldn't want like a gate here and then you drop down to a tunnel.
Yeah, that massive change of height.
Yeah.
Unlike where we was in the squat, you was banging down, and you went step by step to get to the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
You was led down to the ground.
Yeah.
So this whole changing the height and trying to get to a gate really low. So that's why I like my tunnels to be on a table, say.
Yeah.
Rather than where they are now, they're just plonked on the floor.
Yeah.
You want to raise that tunnel up.
Or I also
or
like
even higher.
I tried it once of a rising tunnel.
Yes, we did that
That's
in
interesting
that
as well.
job centre place.
Yes.
We did that. That was
The
quite
lowering
interesting.
part is a bit harder.
Lower's harder.
Because you're just looking at the ceiling.
Well, yeah, because
but going up is a lot fun because you're like, oh, I can see the exit up
I
there.
think it'll be harder to descend in control in a tunnel because you can't see anything.
Exactly, yeah. And if you bump, that's it. You're done.
You know, because the tunnel's at that angle and you're looking at this angle, still trying to descend.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're rising, your view's getting better.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're rising,
and you can see
into the tunnel.
you can see the exits.
Yeah. So a rising tunnel would be good.
Yeah.
But a long rising tunnel would be very, very challenging.
So?
I think if you had a couple of meters at the most as a rising tunnel, you would be able to deal with it.
But again,
if it gets longer,
this doesn't exist as a product again.
None of these things exist.
You have to kind of like DIY not only the tunnel, but how you're gonna assemble it when you get to location.
So it's not that they don't exist. How they fold up, how they accommodate what we need doesn't exist. Yeah. Yes, there is Rudy's hyperdrive, but how do you make a small?
Yes. How do you take that anywhere?
Yeah, because once that plastic comes off, that corrugated plastic comes off, that thing is unwieldy at best. Yeah, it's all like that, but you know. Yeah,
exactly.
And then you've got to have whichever end you're gonna have.
Yeah.
To clip that thing in, like they're screwed together.
Yeah, I know. I was there when he was.
So.
Oh, the hyperdrive. Yeah.
You know the one with the plastic corrugated.
I was thinking about the
box.
That's
Dean Nicholson.
Dean Nicholson. Yeah.
That's yeah. That was beautiful. The cube.
The cube. Yeah.
Yeah, the infinity cube thing. But that's more like a. See, that is like a nice flag.
Yes.
If I was to have a flag. Centerpiece. Yeah, but it would be something that I'm going around.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just flying around the flag is, my God, boring. But flying around you just kept going round that fucker just for the look of it.
Yeah, because you're looking inside it.
It's just amazing.
Shit.
It's good. So there is that mindset of how do we get that big feature,
tiny and compactable,
and portable, because 99.9%, because there isn't a permanent track, have things where they can leave a big feature out.
Yeah,
that's the issue where I'm struggling with,
If you make
I
the
totally respect people and what they're doing, and I don't want to sound like I'm bitching at anybody, but I just can't stand circles and squares on sticks, bros.
Yeah.
It does my head in. Yeah. I'm not interested in flying that. I want to fly up your staircase and through your rafters, and make me something that goes under the chairs or something. Yeah, make a lot, I want to fly the space. That's the whole thing of Tiny Whoop for me.
Yeah, it's not. I think people normally do the other thing. There's a space, and they just use the open
volume of it, and they
space.
plonk something in the middle of that.
Yeah,
they don't use the space.
Yeah,
whereas when we started in Tiny Whoop, it was all about, my God, look, I can fly underneath that little gap.
Yes,
the existing stuff.
Exactly.
Is what I could fly through. Course. Yeah. Really. So give me that. But no, what's happening is we're trying to make a course in this volume.
Yeah, which is empty.
Just
the empty volume.
Yeah.
And you have like all stuff around
it. So the challenge is, how do you fill that empty volume with feature to make it like you're flying around existing stuff?
Yes? I think it's the thing of using whatever you have available.
Yes, but like Jesse's, look at Jesse's, right? Yeah. Rudy's hyperdrive is there because it fit that space in his office.
Yeah.
Yeah. That tunnel, the long tunnel. Oh, hang on. There was like, you know what? We've got these shelves.
Yeah.
And if we move those boxes, we can do a long tunnel between them.
Yeah.
And it can stay there. Yeah. All of his clouds, which I utterly love.
Yeah.
They're just there. They're not taking them down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people don't have that space.
They don't have that full. This venue won't allow that.
Yes. But how can you make? So I go back to the beginning. There are gates. And there are tunnels, which is not really an FPV product, but you can still get them from IKEA or whatever.
Right? A tunnel is a form. Yeah. It's a good form.
But why aren't there more products like this for FPV?
Because, look, this goes on to a other little subject. I don't know if anyone
Spinning
out
gates. Why isn't there something
there
that
has
attaches to
seen
a gate and spins it?
and movable gates.
Or
I've been
movable
after
gates.
movable gates for
Why
years.
why doesn't this exist?
Michael Rawlings did a little video with Bob, Toothpick Bob. Yeah. And I happen to agree with what they're saying.
Okay.
They're talking about China.
Yeah.
And how now that China has moved to retail, because it was in manufacturing,
Yeah.
and it's moved to retail, and they're, you know, like the Chinese government pay their shipping, they get a 12% kickback on all retail that they do, so they can literally sell it for whatever it costs to make it, because they get the 12% margin anyway. Yeah. They don't pay any duty fees when it's imported into the country over here, so the government here doesn't get any money from it. They're killing, you know, retail, the local retail, specialist retail, and all the rest of it. The thing is that they're only making stuff that exists.
Yes.
So there's a lighter, and they're making another lighter, looks just the same.
It's just cheaper.
Yeah, just a little bit cheaper, you know. But it, you know, it's got this thing down the side. Yeah, it's got a line on the side. It's just ever so slightly different. So the people that's going to make these products that you're asking for, these gates, haven't been shown. They're not gonna design it. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna try and make it. They're not gonna be imaginative. They're not gonna create it. If you create it, they'll chase it and they'll make it. So you create it, and some people will like it, and everyone will get a bit of hype on it, and they'll say, "Oh, look, that's an interesting idea.
We can make it cheaper."
We can make it cheaper.
Yes.
Then you'll get it as a product.
Okay.
So until then, you're going to get local people making a few. Yeah. And you might get some people that might make a tunnel for someone else.
Okay.
Yeah. But what's the design? How is it? How is that? It's not so much the making of it; it's the how is it how is it folding?
Yes. How is it folding? Yeah, I understand. But I don't know. I'm a bit of two worlds regarding
Anyone
China.
out there have an opinion on this? Let us know. Yeah.
Dino is
Dino's excited. I'm not sure what he's excited about.
It was when we were talking about the gates and foldable stuff.
Oh yeah, we love folding. Okay.
So my opinion is a bit, maybe because I'm not a retailer, so I don't suffer what you have to suffer by.
Yeah, I'm in the loosest sense of a retailer, but
China, by China like cutting you off because they can sell the same products that you maybe even bought from them.
Oh yeah, well, you know what's happened to me. You know, I buy a product off of this manufacturer, and then they try and undercut me
on the same
on my own page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems like
look, we're in a big problem right now.
It seems like a problem. How do I explain this? It seems like a modern problem.
Yeah.
That people are still trying to use outdated solutions to fix.
Yeah.
So what you need is a modern solution. Like, how do you combat it, or how do you use it for your own benefit? What's happening? Because you can't just tell China stop making things, because that's gonna.
Well, that would backfire on us really badly anyway. Because look at where we are right now. Right now, I am almost empty for the right bits of stock. I can't get it because China's shut.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, I've got one that's telling me they're maybe going to go back to work next week. They've been told to get ready to possibly go back to work.
Yes, exactly.
Next week.
So I think if there wasn't China, and if it wasn't cloning and all that stuff,
no, if China didn't do this, if Chinese government did not give them free shipping and the 12% kickback, we wouldn't have these problems. It would not be the same, bros, because you've got no chain of distribution anymore.
Something will suffer somewhere.
Well, the Chinese government.
I see on the consumer part.
Chinese economy.
On the consumer part, you ask me like, why do you buy Chinese products and you don't support?
Because you can get it cheap. Bros.
Exactly, you don't support the local economy. Because it's a trade-off, right? I either wait and buy cheaper, or I get it now for more expensive.
Okay, but 1 minute. What you're missing
Yes.
is you'll wait and buy cheaper and get 0 customer service.
Yes.
Once it's sold, they don't give a shit. And if you're lucky and you've got a working example of whatever it is, you will not have to buy again.
Yes.
But the bigger chance is that you're going to get shite out of them and you're going to have to buy again. Possibly. Whereas if you went to this local person, they would advise you properly, and you'd only buy once and probably spend less than you did in the first place.
Maybe not, because the stuff that we buy are so cheap that
I hear it all the time, bros. How many times?
But that's depends on what you're buying. Like if you're buying a very expensive stuff,
but they don't
or if you don't know, if
you
don't know what you're buying,
bros. They just see, flash looking, nice looking picture. Yeah, they don't know it's utter shite. And it turns up, it doesn't work. They can't contact China because they don't care, bros.
Yeah,
they have got no customer service. They don't give a shit.
I just think if China didn't do all this, what do you call it? Cloning, I guess. I'm just talking related to FPV. I don't think the FPV market would be where it is right now.
I've got funny opinions about cloning. Yeah, like to me, once something's out in the world, it's out in the world.
Yes.
And you're gonna struggle. Is it clone? If I've done something and you personally have copied it and done it for yourself, the idea that I did to put this and that together and do that.
Is it cloning?
Is it cloning? Is it only cloning if they're making a profit?
Yeah, exactly.
Just you doing it for yourself at home, is that
fine?
Because I'm sharing that with you. People do that all the time. Yeah? Is that cloning? Like this, look, the Iris Gate.
Yeah.
Bang, perfect example. People like it very much. We love it. I've shared the code to it. You've shared the code to it. Yeah? Even if you didn't share the code, the idea is out there, isn't it?
The idea is out. Someone can go like,
Don't get me wrong, I'm no genius with CAD, bruv. That was not a difficult thing to design and cut.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're no genius with the code.
Yeah.
You spent a couple of weeks and done it, dealt with it.
Someone can make it.
China could do that like that.
Yeah.
So if they did that and made an Iris Gate as a product, have they cloned you?
In a way, yeah, but would it matter to me?
Have they cloned you or have you inspired them?
If I had a business that was making like Iris Gates, and then China were like, "Oh, Iris this is so easy to do,"
like they did with the iPhone.
Let's make Iris Gates.
Let's make Iris Gates, yeah.
But it's like you're saying, like, what if anyone else from the world just goes and makes Iris Gates because they were like, "Oh, this is easy to do.
This is pretty easy
I'll just make it." And everyone, and I'll just go like,
I'll make mine with Bluetooth.
Yeah, and I just go like, "Oh, they stole my idea. I was the only one that wanted to sell Iris Gates because I was making $1 million for Iris Gates." But that's selfish of me.
Hang on. Here's another example.
It's
the Woovers.
Geopolitics and money.
The Woovers. Yeah. Yes. I really never got too vexed with the cloning.
Yeah.
I got vexed with the shit cloning. If you're gonna copy it, make it better.
Yeah.
Don't turn it into a pile of poo. That's the ones that vexed me. Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
What's this piece of shit? Yeah. If you're gonna clone it, make it better. Like the new one out now. There's one out now. It's about 20 quid. Airboat thing. It's black EPP.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, bros. I think it's freaking awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah. It flies. It hovers, and it goes on the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. They've cracked it. It's 20 quid.
Yeah.
I should take more pleasure that I've induced them to do that.
But are you upset that they cloned your idea, they took your idea that's supposed to be yours? I think that's the problem with humanity.
What, the selfishness?
Yes.
Because it is pretty selfish.
It is selfish that you create something and it's like, it's mine.
No.
And if you want a piece of it, if you just want to use it, you got to pay me.
But that's the capitalist mentality. Like, look, I got the most pleasure. Do you know what the most pleasure out of the Woovers I got?
It's odd for me.
Do you know what the most pleasure?
Maybe I come from a different planet.
Well, do you know the most pleasure I got?
From what?
From the Woovers, from the whole Woover thing.
Was when we had all those people fucking.
No, that was great. That was great. That was at the show at NEC.
Yeah. Oh, the first time when we cracked.
No.
Oh, this other turn.
Was that the Japanese did it?
Ah, the Japanese. Yeah.
when the Japanese did it, and,
Right.
and I saw videos of people in Japan doing woovers and changing it a little bit. That one that took off and flew.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, wow, look at that. That was great pleasure. That was
From
really
something that we were like
just messing about. Well, look, again, it comes from I'm
Yeah.
trying to get more people into FPV.
Yes.
Yeah, it's what I'm always trying to do, and that was because people were just hitting the ceiling.
Yes.
Yeah, so brings us slightly onto a subject that I'm going to ask you about. We spoke about last week, and have you had any progress on the high altitude thing that you was talking about?
Yes.
Awesome.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Finally.
So just recap on what we're talking about.
Yeah. So to recap, what I found out, and anyone can find this out as well, is that INAV, which is a different
protocol,
not
like
protocol,
beta flight, but something.
Yeah, it's a different type of firmware for your boards.
Yeah.
INAV has this thing called float sensor.
Mm-hmm.
And what the flow sensor does is a very like 3-gram board.
Okay.
And the only thing that it does is that that board takes a picture and tells the flight controller like, oh, now you moved a bit to the left, and the flight controller knows, I can move a bit to the right.
It's got smaller or whatever.
And next to that sensor, there's a lidar, which is pretty much a laser that points down and then shoots back up and tells you I'm at 10 centimeters.
Is it actually measuring the distance? It can actually measure distance.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just saying it's got more or less than it was.
No. It's like
it's actually.
Yeah. It tells you the exact distance.
Okay.
So you know at exactly what distance you are from the floor.
Yeah.
And you know exactly where in the floor you are.
If you've gone off orientation then like that. So that's on a hover, on a vertical, on a horizontal.
Yeah.
So if you've gone off orientation, isn't that looking further away?
But it knows because the flight controller knows
that it's off orientation.
Exactly. So it goes like,
okay.
It's fine. You're the measure.
Does it actually compute a little triangle? You think maybe?
Yeah, should do.
Like it says that's where it was, and now I'm here.
Because it's interesting because this also works. The altitude hold.
Yes.
Call it like that. Also works with acro. So if you go on acro, it still stays always in the same altitude. It's very funny.
Well, that must be doing what I'm asking them. That must be doing. You know, I'm at this angle, and it was there.
Exactly.
And at this angle, that distance would be that much longer than if it was straight.
And when you go like this, it goes crazy because you go like ah.
So you got a max. You'd have to set a max.
Yeah.
Okay. And we only needed.
So
we didn't need the barometer. We just needed the thing for the barometer, the code for the barometer.
Hey, Cody. So what's happening is that for this to work, so let me start from the beginning. So INAV has a little option that's called a sensor flow.
Yep.
And that sensor flow is a little sensor thing that tells you where you are in the floor and how high you are in the floor. Yeah. But for you to enable the modes that makes this work, INAV requires a working barometer. Which for me is a bit silly, but
which is 4 years
like
old. We haven't had a barometer on a drone for 4 years.
No, there's several, and and you have to keep in mind that INAV was created more for wings first, and then for quads.
Okay.
So wings are a lot more developed than quads. Anyways, in order for INAV to enable this, it needs a barometer.
Yeah.
So imagine if we can have a tiny whoop that just hovers in place.
That's what I need. Yeah.
And it go forward. It goes forward, and you stop, and it just stops. Yeah. And you go full throttle, and it goes like because this is the maximum altitude
that is allowed.
That's allowed. That's a sensor allows it.
Yeah. I need that.
But
now,
but this doesn't exist for the INAV firmware. Is not been implemented for tiny whoop boards.
Okay.
No one's done it.
It's
because
not been done.
Foresight, I don't know.
It's never been interesting to them. Because like you said, it was for wings.
Yes, for wings. There's quads as well, but they're only interested in big
But they're heavy on the wings.
So I started chatting to. Last week we were watching a live stream for some dude that.
How well?
Yeah, that does INAV implementation, but unfortunately he didn't. Well, he wanted to help
he didn't
in a monetary. It was. I don't think he was interested first, and he wanted to help in a monetary.
I don't think he was, and that's why he was, give me money, otherwise I'm not interested, because he wasn't interested.
Yeah, maybe, probably yes. Yeah. So it doesn't matter because there was another person on that live stream,
which was all we needed, was the one connection
that we managed to contact, and now I've got into contact with Jesse.
Okay.
As well, Jesse Perkins.
To give a bit of weight to the tiny whoop action.
Is sending him the board.
Yeah.
Basically, Jesse is my sponsor for for this. So he's sending in the board and the sensor, and he's gonna try. Shit, I forgot his name. Actually, I want to name him, so give me a second.
Give him a second.
Because this guy's helping us.
Because he's helping you big time.
Where's my phone?
So the board, this extra board is not very heavy. Cody's asking how heavy it is, and I don't think it's that heavy.
3 grams.
Yeah.
Did I bring my phone?
3 grams for the whole board.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a possible. What are you looking for?
Oh, here it is.
3 grams, you could get away with that.
Sorry, I just want to mention this guy because I think it's important.
That's an extra board now currently, but if we was pushing this and it was implemented into
very
boards,
hard. No, very hard.
You couldn't have it on the board.
You could, but it's very hard to do it because it has to have a clear thing to the ground. So it's actually better that it's a different board because maybe the board gets updated and the flight control doesn't, and that board works for any flight control.
Okay.
So it's not bad that it's an external board.
But I was just thinking how many chips you could take off that board and just leave the sensors.
No, it doesn't really matter. It's so light that it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Daniel Hopper.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Thank you, Daniel. Hooper.
Daniel Hooper. So Daniel Hooper, he lives in the US.
Top bloke. Thank you very much, Daniel.
So he and I managed to have a chat with Jesse, and Jesse is sending him the bits that we need to make this happen.
To encourage.
Yeah, well, he needs this obviously to test and make sure that the code works.
And if the godfather of whoops says that it needed for whoops, there's a bit more weight to it. You are the wizard, but you know what I mean. We'll get the godfather involved.
So and
I think it will change a lot of things.
It benefits.
I think it would change a lot of things.
Actually, it benefits like every single person massively because this means that you can get your 2-year-old kid flying your tiny whoop with zero.
With less problems, way less problems.
And the funny thing is that at work,
it's not going to hit the walls.
At work, I had a 5-inch quad.
Yeah.
That has the same system.
Yeah.
And I got a colleague of mine, female colleague of mine.
No idea.
Never does. Not that it matters if it's female or not, but
Great female pilots. Don't go there.
But there's less of them.
Then there should be more.
I got her. I taught her. She never got any RC remote or whatever in her life.
First timer.
I told her this is the throttle, this is the pitch, this is a roll.
And you need to go
for
forward,
2 minutes.
You push this. You need to go right. You push that.
And then obviously I handed her a remote, 5-inch quad.
5-inch.
Handed her a remote.
Brushless, big old propellers.
Yeah.
Indoors.
Turn it on indoors.
Indoors.
Yeah. Turn it on.
A big room.
And then obviously I was coaching it. A little bit more forward, a little bit backwards, but not like just like a little bit forward. Okay, now stop. Yeah. Now she will stop. I'll not turn to the left. I'll turn to the left. Yeah. I'll turn to the right. Turn to the right. I'll go forward. And at no point it was like, where do I go?
Is that to a degree what like a Mavic does that, doesn't it?
Yes, but a Mavic is 1,000 pounds.
Sure.
And we want to take this to...
And you're talking about, how much is this sensor? A few quid?
20 quid? 25 quid?
Something
like
most.
That.
Like,
yeah.
And that's because you're buying it from somewhere else. Like, if we had it remade in China, it would be 15 quid.
It's by Maytec.
Oh, it's a Maytec board. Okay.
Maytec LiDAR and optical sensor. If you guys want to...
Maytec LiDAR and
make
optical.
It for yours.
So, the comparison now is... So, put that onto something like a cine.
Oh, Mr. Shady is there. Mr. Shady is actually one of the guys that helped us. Like, if it wasn't for him,
it was. Was he the one that said to go to Powell in the first place?
Yeah. And then in the live stream, someone else like popped up and
came through.
Kudos also to Mr. Shady for pushing us and helping us. Like,
couldn't tell that Powell wasn't that interesting.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't tell much.
It's a shame because I think this would benefit like
big time, but not just tiny whoops. But if you added that onto a cine whoop,
Yeah.
Like imagine now
Yeah.
floating a Cinewhoop float through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're opening it up to more people.
And it's just a case in the future to get bigger and more powerful sensors that do the same thing,
Or
but
more
at higher
accurate.
altitude. No, this is pretty accurate. This is like
Okay,
the
so
drone
this
is
is
like
a
this,
small
and I
sensor.
poke it with a stick,
1 second.
and it
This is
goes
a
and it
small
comes back.
sensor, and
Yes.
therefore it's only got a short altitude, a low altitude.
Yes, because the lidar, the laser is like a tiny little thing, and the camera that's on it, it's the tiniest
What's
tiny
the
little
kind
thing.
of altitude you're talking about then?
Meter and a half.
Like here somewhere.
Yeah.
Meter and a half. That's like what, 4 foot-ish.
Yeah, a full throttle. But
4 or 5 foot.
it doesn't matter for tiny whoops. It doesn't matter to teach someone how to fly, for them to have fun without requiring that huge thing.
Massive
You don't need to
ceiling.
go like flying off, right? You just need to understand how does pitch will work.
Yeah.
And then okay, I'm comfortable with that. Then I can understand how this works,
You're
and then
taking
I
the
can
pressures
understand
away.
how this works.
Yeah.
Because
I can't do all 4 of them at the once.
Exactly.
On the first time.
That's the problem.
Yeah, this is the big issue,
Yeah.
which is why I did the woovers to get them on the ground.
Yeah.
Because to give them throttle that will go
and people were
forward
like
and not go
going
up
right away.
straight away. Yeah.
But the cool thing with this is that, like you said, like you can build a track that goes up, and the thing will just follow it.
Follow the track.
Yeah.
And then drop off the end. That would be awesome.
And at the end it will drop off. Exactly.
And then give you that little bit of funky cushion at the end.
It's like a Hoover.
It would be Wipeout.
It's Wipeout, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And you can control them with wheels and whatever. You can.
I was just going to say it. So
that's very easy to do.
That's what I want. So I want to be able to feel like Wipeout, where I've got that.
We can do that already.
Magnetic cushion.
We can do that already.
That's what Wipeout
with a 5-inch quad.
And a very big field.
Ish. Yeah, maybe.
You need a field.
Depending on the turn radius, yes.
Yeah. Because I need that big swoopy corner.
Yeah.
No, it's like a banked corner in Wipeout, isn't it? Yeah. Hey Hussein, how you doing?
Hey.
So yeah, we're carrying on with that mindset that's going to let us fly easier.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, there are some amazing pilots out there.
Yeah.
That don't need any of this.
Yes, and it's not like I said, it's not for me. It's for everyone that doesn't know how to fly. I don't need this. I don't need this stuff.
You don't need to be restricted at 1.5 meters, do you?
No, I'm
you
good.
Could quite easily do that yourself.
I can emulate the same thing that the quad does by myself.
So this is about the wider implications. This is about how we're going to get it to be more accepted or easier to accept the path into it, because it's not just the flying that's a problem. It's also all of that computer side of it, the PIDs, and that I've had people buy a flight controller off of me, and literally the first thing they do is update the firmware. And I just don't understand why they think that's a good plan. I just don't get it. You don't know what you're doing in the first place.
If
you've never turned it on.
Okay,
yes. You've never done anything.
No, then I wouldn't recommend you do that.
That's the last thing you want to do. Yeah. So it's like, just because it's an option.
Yes. Doesn't mean that you should.
Because you've plugged into Betaflight, and what's it say?
Oh yeah.
Update firmware. Yeah. First thing is, you shouldn't have that option.
Yeah.
I want to take that all away. Not completely. But like the first timey people should just have more like a couple of sliders.
Yes.
Yeah, make it, a bit nimble, make it heavy, describe it completely differently.
Like a plane, like a toy quad.
Way much more like a video game. Way much that way. Like they don't need to understand all of that back end stuff.
They can just get their wheel and race their
just get in there, and if we can fly with a wheel, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Drew is saying he's gonna make his custom Wipeout quads started in January.
But
it would be cool. Imagine like racing Wipeout quads. That would be.
It's totally exactly what I want. I want a Wipeout. I want that. What I had when I was 12.
But we can do right now. We can do it with 5-inch quads. Well, or 3-inch quads.
The reason I get hesitant with a 5-inch quad is because it's because I have to make a really big track.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's it. And I reckon I could do it in tiny size. I reckon you could actually build that track. It might still be a very big hole.
You can make a 2.5 inch.
But no, I'm talking about.
You can even make a 2 inch.
I want that banked corner with the two little side wings. Have you played Wipeout?
Yeah.
Right, so you know the roadway.
Yeah.
Is like that, and it's got like the wings like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it goes like
so
this.
if I'm on this, but I get pushed out this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back into the center almost when I'm on that wing.
Yeah. You would.
Yeah.
Well.
Because my sensor would push me back in, wouldn't it? But it would, wouldn't it? Do you understand?
Yeah,
and I want to make that like that ribbon raceway that they did in, was it Korea?
Yeah.
That, but a flat surface.
Oh, he's saying not him, me.
Oh, us. Yes. Well, I'd love to. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. So that really would work for me and help more people to fly and actually generally make it easier to have tiny whoop races.
Yes.
Because right now you've got to be kind of near enough pretty good to fly.
Yeah.
You're not a newbie.
Yeah.
You're a newbie going to a race thinking, oh, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Let me have a quick little, I've crashed. I look like shit. No, they're laughing at me and all that. And you're stressed about it.
Yes.
So if we could get you in the air flying,
it's
like
racing a car, but more.
It's just easier, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just easier. Yeah. So, but like the numbers of people that could go to a race.
Yes.
That could actually attend that race. Yeah. You could just turn up pretty much as a total newbie.
And
here's the drone, here's whack the goggles on, and because you've got that restriction, you've only got to do a little bit of height difference. You're flying straight away off the street, walking off the street and flying. You haven't got all those months worth of having to learn how to fly and do throttle control and all the rest of it. That would be absolutely fabulous, Drew. So Drew's just made a comment about an indoor crawler course with tiny whoops and drones and all that. It's just my dream. You're talking about my dreams here. Like, what are you doing? So, if we could have, that's where we started the conversation earlier on, Drew, was my belief is that because we don't have a permanent setup space,
you can't do this stuff.
You can't have so many of these features. Yeah. And it's too much to put it on the people that have put themselves out to find a venue and do things. That's already stressful enough.
Yeah.
That now I'm going to add all of this extra weight and storage to you with this big massive tunnel that you can't make smaller.
Yeah.
So
hey Phil,
if anyone can think about how to reduce that.
Yes. Or it's not even reduce that. It's how do you what features can you make as a product?
I won't finish the sentence as product. Yeah, what features can you make as foldable?
Product.
But repeatedly.
Because a product isn't like, oh, here's the freaking washing machine size thing. How are you gonna use that product? Oh, you can't. Sorry, it has to stay always. So it's a product.
A foldable product.
Yeah, a product that you can take around.
It has to be a foldable product.
We need to go to the way
flight test. I don't know what you mean by that, Drew. Other than flight test. Flight test had a really good Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
Crowdsourced campaign.
Yeah.
They got a shed load of money and they bought a golf course.
Yes, that's I think what he means is just buy a golf course.
I would love to. Yeah, so should we start a Kickstarter? And we'll buy a golf course.
Get those
200
crids from your 5 friends that actually
5 friends that want to fly. But yeah, they've got a golf course, mate, bros. That's phenomenal. It's a little bit more than what we can do. But
Phil's new to the hobby and loving it.
Yes, Phil is just a new customer of ours. He's from Hull, I believe. Phil, you are from Hull, aren't you, Phil? One of Chris's mates, and he's just getting into it. So if we could have a more permanent space.
Yeah, which you're working on.
I am working on, but I don't want to talk too much about it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't signed anything yet.
Okay.
But I'm very close to doing that on a bit of paper. Yeah.
And then you're gonna have.
And it will be a
place.
I believe it will be. I don't really care if it is or it isn't, but
a modern.
the first But I believe it will be the first permanent tiny whoop course in the UK, akin
Oh
to
no, they had
Jesse's.
They had in the other place. What was it called? Doesn't matter if it's the first.
No,
What
I
it
don't care
matters
if it
is
is or
that
it isn't.
it's good.
And it will. Well, I will make it good. Yeah, because I want what I want.
Yes.
Essentially, I want different features, built-in features, ways. I also want, going back to what we was talking about last week, interactive drone racing courses.
Mm-hmm.
So
We can have that now.
I am a big fan, huge fan. People can tell of Hydra FPV.
Yeah.
Go look it up. If you're a race events guy and you're planning on doing race events, Hydra FPV is the answer for you. And I want to use Hydra FPV. And then the people that are doing the betting and the winning of the points are the ones that win the opportunity to mess with the pilots.
Yes.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't,
Be
they're going to mess with it. They're going to
be a part of it.
Be a part of it.
Even if you're at home.
From remote, because I want to get another. This goes back to, so we've covered one thing, is how do we have bigger features that people can take home, because we don't have that luxury of having a permanent space, and how do we get the spectators more involved? Let's all be honest. When you watch a drone racing thing, even a tiny whoop racing one, it's very short lived.
They're very short lived.
I can't watch it for too long, bro.
And very boring, because for most races there's no.
And it's all just it's the same thing gone round and around again.
Might as well just put the same thing on repeat over and over and over.
And that's me, drone junkie, watching that, who utterly loves this stuff. Yeah. So how is my spectator? How is my non-FPV person
gonna
give it for more than 5 minutes? Yeah. So I feel Hydra and that opportunity to get involved with it. Yeah. And another thing I really, really want to get out, and I'm looking for someone that I guess they would have to be the person. So they're going to have to volunteer themselves as the voice of FPV. The voice, like the UK voice of FPV.
Oh, like to comment.
Yeah, like we've got Joe Scully.
Yeah.
In America.
We have,
and he's the American voice of FPV.
What's ours? What's his name? Craigslist.
Craig Films. Craig Films has been. Craig Films is awesome, but I can't put him forward. He has to put himself forward. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And like come to the thing and do the voice, and if he wants to, it's not easy. It's a big thing.
I think it's hard.
So we need that.
What do you get from that?
What do you, other than everybody social status?
But everyone needs to get.
Yeah, but you'll get to a point where, if we can get to a point, look, if we get to a point where we've got 3, 5,
Chris is coming
6 different permanent race courses in the UK, bros. Imagine if we could get to that point. And then he could go from place to place. It's your own dream of being that commentator. That's why it's got to come from them. But we need that voice.
Chris Atkins.
Chris,
to be that man.
Chris, you want to be that man? You want to chat up? Yeah. If you want to talk about it.
But one of the important things.
You've got to know the people and the pilots.
And not just that. And it can't be race, because then the commentator just loses.
Oh no! I'm looking.
You're only human. You can't
He can't do it. He can't handle it, and you have to have
more impact on the.
But it's not just that, but with the spectators. The spectator doesn't want to watch race.
Yes, because it's boring. But I want to watch the people. I want to watch the people talking. Okay. I want to watch the commentator talking to the people. In between. Knowing who the hell is there.
Who is there? Yes.
Not just
in between.
Racing is
So show me a bit of racing. Chat me through it. Have the excited conversation.
Yes.
Oh, he's done
Which
that.
Which is only going to last for 2 minutes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Then have a little bit of a chat with people.
Yes.
Then we're going to have another race. Then find out about the pilots. How can I build an affinity with the pilot if all I know is his pilot's name?
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even know which one it is.
Don't know what he looks like. Yeah.
No, which one it is.
Or which one isn't in the screens even. So how are we going to build these affinities? This is what I want to bring out as a conversation.
I think we've spoken on this in a few episodes.
We have, again, because I still feel we're lacking in that.
Yeah.
We're lacking across the board, bruv. Like,
because people do
mini quads, even
listen,
then.
because people do what they know how to do.
What they know how to do,
more.
I suppose. Yeah.
So for something like this to happen,
someone has to start it off.
Someone has to do it.
Someone's got to kick it off and say, "This is it.
Yeah.
This is the how you run. How do you run a permanent
superbike racing? Exactly. Like race? Imagine if superbike racing.
Yeah.
Was just guy after guy after guy after guy. Yeah. Wham, next, wham, yeah. Now, next. Keep going. And you had like 100 of them going. At one point, you're like, oh, is that the last green that went? It's the same thing. Like,
it would just blur, yeah.
Because at some point, the skill level is going to be very close.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate?
Yeah.
Is it the same guy? I don't know. It's just watching something go.
It's just the same.
Past me, right?
Yeah.
And in every sport that exists, unless it's football that is constant like game, and even after the game is done, there's a lot more chat about the game than the game lasted.
But there's commentary.
Every sport,
yeah,
the commentary or the hype,
the playback
is not what happened or what's happening. It's what happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The playback.
Exactly.
You've got to go through it all.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh, look. He went there and he did this.
But this doesn't exist in FPV.
Because we haven't set it up as that. Look, we're still a new sport. We all have to put our hands up. We all think we've been doing this for ages. But as far as a sport is concerned, you've only just started.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But still, there's no harm in trying things.
But saying that we want this.
Yes.
And like I'm trying to keep doing is pushing this conversation. If I can get a couple of the people watching, to have the conversation with other people, that's what I'm after. Because then, like, look, Chris is saying, this has got me all over. Yeah. But he wouldn't have said that if we didn't have this conversation.
Yeah.
You with me? So I want to keep pushing this thing that where organisers think that it's important.
Yes.
That they say, you know what, I've got the gates, I've got the bar sorted, there's loos, there's parking, there's this, there's a commentatory.
Yes.
Yeah? And for me...
And I think the problem is, the mindset of our organizers is, this would require better, but less racing.
Yeah.
And then the pilots are, less racing? I don't get to fly a battery every single second.
Yeah.
And then it goes like, oh, I'm not going to that. It's terrible.
Well, it depends again. Look,
but that's a different.
In my mindset, I really like the whole never more than 3 lipos from a race. And if you've got a system, let's say you've got 16 pilots.
When's that race?
Racing 4 at a go.
Is that a race in the next 5 minutes or is it in the next hour? Because people always want the next 5 minutes. I want to fly.
1 minute. Look. If you organise it correctly, these 4 are racing. Then these 4 are racing. When these 4 come off, your commentator's chatting to these people.
Yeah.
And for the couple of minutes.
Yes.
Then this race is being displayed if it was interesting enough, or parts of it.
Yeah.
And then they come off and chat to the commentary, and the output is what I'm talking about.
I think pilots. I think the problem is pilots. I speak for myself. Too much of a prima donnas to allow for a system like this to happen.
Which part of it?
I'm not going to race as fast as humanly possible.
Or constantly.
Constantly.
But you still have to accept that you got 3 lipos before you could race again.
Yeah.
Because in a group of 16.
Faster. They're taking too long. I want now.
They're taking too long.
The next pilots.
Well, that's great.
Because now they're chatting up to the commentator. What do I care about this? This comes back to me.
Back to me. I'm scared by this pilot. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like that.
I'm scared.
I don't.
But can you
I would love. I don't mind waiting for an hour to race for 1 lipo. I think it would make it a lot more interesting for.
I want you to wait for less than an hour, but yeah.
Whatever it takes, but not like every 5 minutes I have to run a lipo. Otherwise, I'm gonna go crazy and like just say that it's terrible organization.
There's another
run
thing.
3 lipos.
There's another thing is the level of seriousness.
Yeah.
And how how overly serious it can become. You know, I like the light-heartedness of tiny whoop racing.
Yes.
And that, yeah, you've won, but you've won in a light-hearted way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But winning is still, like, competition is still competition.
Competition is still competition. And I don't need you to be all upset and start freaking out because it didn't go your way, or you got crashed, or someone stood up.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your way. Because again, tiny whoop is about flying around people.
Yeah.
Which is something that I utterly love.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to ever take that away. That's why I used to get upset when we used to go to shows and they'd put us in netted cages and it would freak me out. And I'm like, why are we in this cage? Yeah. So I don't want to take that away. That live element of people walking around a tiny whoop course.
Yeah. But that doesn't deter from.
But if the leader and he hits you and he crashes, oh, I don't need that kind of pressure-ness onto it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, it's bad, but I don't want you to start freaking out.
But you shouldn't. Yeah? But that's what happens anyway.
It can happen, exactly. With how much, you know, desire you get.
I think there was a
so, yeah, look, back to
interesting
the
commentary there. Give me a second.
Yeah, there is a couple of points there. So back to the commentary.
Most successful racing sports have some sort of gambling involved. Yeah, that's
Hydra, and that's what's going to let you bet on whichever pilot you think is going to win. So back to the commentary. My ideal commentary. Is a pro pilot, a knowledgeable person, pilot or not, and a complete noob. 3 people, having a chat. Off screen.
That would be lovely.
When you're interviewing people, no, just the pro pilot or the knowledgeable person chatting to that guy.
But when there's racing,
in between the racing and the conversation that's going on,
the noob should be asking the stupid questions.
Untold stupid questions.
Which doesn't matter.
I'd write them for you. I'd write those questions for you.
Questions are questions. And they're questions. Good because people watching
will hear that question,
to that person.
Relate. Yes, exactly. They're
not relating to the pro pilots.
No, they're not. Yeah. But those answers that's going to come out and those questions are going to come out between those 3 types.
John gives Haribo's as part of the...
Haribo's for everybody. We love Haribo's. And Phil can be the newbie. But can you see that little dynamic of how you want to... If you are an event manager, to say whether, you know... Yes, we've been putting out live streams. And yes, it's a fucking hard game to do. Use Hydra, it makes it easier. Yeah, to collate all that information and do it. It's not an easy task, and I take my hat off to those people that can do it.
But still, the live stream that's being put is just
not
white noise.
White noise. After 5 minutes, it becomes white noise. It's hard to watch.
I put it on just to get a glimpse of the people that I might know there.
The people that.
But that's it. It's like a glimpse.
See what the track looks like. And
that guy's racing now, and then it's like.
Because you can't follow it.
I don't relate to.
I need the commentary to tell me, you know, to go back. So look, Chris says we race for 2 minutes and it's so laid back. I would go for that. In that you're saying, I'm saying it's 3 minutes. It's 3 lipos before another race. That's the way I want to run my show. And if you come off, I don't want to have immediately another race.
Yes.
That's
out, what most organizers do.
Because they're trying to bang so much in because they've got such short time.
Yes, and too many pilots.
And if you're in your own permanent space, you can have an 8-hour race. You can have an 8-hour day. But, you know, I want that break between the race. Now we're setting this up and that's this and da-da-da.
And we're talking to the pilots and
you're not stressing.
And the other pilots are getting ready and you have time, relaxed time. Go.
Exactly. And if you can run a system like Jesse ran this, I loved it, the pool table system, for want of a better name, where you've got 4 lanes, 4 set channels. These are the only 4 channels we're using. And if you want to, you can put your drone in any one of those lanes.
As long as it's a channel.
As long as it's on that channel. And you wait. So some of these lanes had 2 drones, and some had 6. So you could either put it there and chill out behind the 6th one, go out, have a fag, and whatever you want.
Or you could
put it behind the 2 and get ready, but you'd have to change your channel. So I want to do that, but I also want to give you like a little room or a box or whatever it is that you stick your drone in, and you change your channel.
That's the thing that we talked about, remember?
You change your channel and then you plonk it there. But that system is you've decided how long you're waiting.
Yeah.
Because those 4 lanes fill up randomly.
Yeah.
And you decide, and then no one's going to, you're there, you're third, it's going to come next, you know what I mean? Or you're 6th, I'm going to go and have a quick munch and come back, and you've moved up a little bit.
Yeah.
And it runs itself almost.
Yes, yeah.
And as far as the organizer is concerned, it's those next 4 in the front.
Yeah.
And how Jesse had that name tag.
Yeah.
You put your name tag under your drone, and that moves forward.
I would even do it.
And I call your name.
I would even do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
That you just put a little barcode,
a number or an RFID,
or a barcode in the drone.
Yeah.
And it goes like beep beep beep.
Yeah.
When you move it to a particular spot,
it moves forwards,
it automatically says like the next thing they're gonna come.
Because they've got to get called whilst this is flying.
Exactly.
Whilst these 4 are flying, those 4 are being called. Get ready. Where's your transmitter?
Yeah.
All the rest of it. You're not going to go immediately on, but you're next up.
Yeah, exactly.
Run that system. We saw that in Germany as well, didn't we? At Intermodelbaum. They had it there, and they had benches, and they had drones lined up on the bench.
Yes.
And everyone's drones was ready.
Yeah.
There wasn't any. Oh, where's my? I haven't put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it ain't working, you're not on that. Yeah. On that table.
Actually, that's an interesting system. I might do it with chips. With RFID.
Yes.
And you have 4 RFID here, and when you put the name, you just say like who's next, and it speaks out who.
It sees you.
Yeah. That's
I love RFID.
That's quite
RFID
that's quite
for
easy
that
to do.
Would work really, really well.
Yeah, because you don't even need your quad there. You just need your chip.
Your chip. Yes, I suppose that's all you need. Yeah.
Like something big enough so you can move it, and when it's your turn, you move it to the thing,
yeah.
and the announcer just goes, press the button, and it will spell out the name of the 4 pilots. So you don't have to be like, oh, is it my turn yet? Oh, where's my quad? Yeah. That'll be very.
That's quite. I mean, yeah, because you need an RFID to get in anyway.
Yes.
I'm going to do the door entry with RFID. It's the same chip.
It's very easy to do, actually.
Very easy to do. That is very, very. So we're just having another little private conversation here. But yeah, that is very interesting to do. So Mr. Shady is saying there.
Yeah.
Yes, he agrees that it is difficult to get people interested. Yeah, and he's flying.
I need to write this down. Can I get on?
He's flying fixed wings. Yeah, with a dozen or so guys, but they weren't interested in the indoor. Now.
Who wasn't?
These dozen or so guys. Now the thing is, for me, the indoor. If we had dogfighting,
yes,
battle, yes, wing or drone,
battle drones,
the indoor would be immense.
Yes,
because you've got that wind issue sorted.
Yes,
and you could fake wind if you wanted to.
Yeah. But
if you could do it, do you remember we did the wing that got copied by Horizon? Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, it was the other way around.
It wasn't copied.
Yeah,
it was what? Community inspired.
Community inspired.
It was community inspired.
Community inspired.
Created.
So the wing flies very much like a drone, but is a wing.
Yeah.
And it's restricted that you can't do harsh diving.
Yeah.
Because you'll just fall out. Yeah. So it makes it nicer in that indoor environment.
Yeah.
To do dogfighting with that kind of.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's disadvantaged wing. It's not like a wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that flat flying style. So I think if you looked at that, Mr. Shady, I don't know if you know about that one.
I wonder if you could do alt mode indoors with a wing.
What, mate?
Alt mode, altitude mode.
Altitude high thing.
Altitude hold. Indoors with a wing.
You could.
That small.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, it could. Especially with that wing, with the drone wing, with the converted one, definitely. Because it's flying like a drone. It's not flying like a wing. It's you know.
You could possibly do it. Yeah.
It's a drone.
That would be very interesting.
Yeah. And then you could have combat, and it would be very, very interesting. Like you would get a lot of uptake on that.
Yeah.
Like. You know, like you're saying, you've stopped me from hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
I've still got control within that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could you stop me going too low?
Yeah.
So it would force me up then. So you could say no lower than 50, no higher than 150.
Oh, with INAV.
Could you do that anyway? But like you've got that.
Yeah.
And battle drone style. Yeah. Indoors, I think you'd get a lot more interest out of it. Or something like, I don't know if you could do like we do with too much twisty turning, but definitely pylon racing.
Pylon racing, yeah.
Yeah, indoors would be great fun.
But outdoors as well.
Outdoors as well. It's just indoors is nice for little wings.
Yes, yeah.
So outdoors you've got the big wing, but you ain't
and
gonna fly a
good thing
little
is that
wing
we're
outdoors.
in the UK.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
So outdoors is always gonna be potentially shit like
hurricane.
This today.
Potentially hurricane. Yeah. So look, Chris says he uses Lifetime and it shouts out the pilots' names.
Yeah.
It's a similar system.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just that Lifetime's doing that organising. But the bit I like about the lanes, the live lanes, is Lifetime.
You choose when you want to go fly.
Exactly. So I'm deciding that when I want to go on the 2-lane or the 6-lane, whichever thing. Whereas Lifetime is trying to bang through heats.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not overly wanting that as much. Do you know what I mean? Hydra does the same.
Organising.
Hydra does that too.
Yeah.
But Hydra's a little bit more option allowing. It lets you change things for us. Like that time I saw that when Say came up and she said, I don't want to fly anymore. And this guy wants to fly. And Joel just got his app. And he just flicked him off and flicked him on and flicked like that. And like 3 little flicks. Yeah, no problem. And everything else just changed.
Like,
everything else just changed after that. It was just like, yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah.
You know, and aside from the output as well, I like how it associates you. You put your bio in.
Yeah.
Like there's 3 aspects to Hydra. There's the race controller.
Yeah.
There's the pilot. And there's the spectator.
Yes.
And it's almost like 3 separate apps.
Yeah.
I just think it's fucking awesome. Okay, back to chatting about other stuff. Where was we? We was talking about how to make indoor racing more featureful.
More featureful.
Yeah. So featureful moving gates.
Moving gates would be an interesting thing. Although this has been, I've seen like a moving gate in the past, and it wasn't that.
I've seen the Japanese moving big, massive mouth thing. Have you seen stuff like that? Or there was one that was like a lobster or something doing this.
Oh no! What, in Tiny Whoop?
In Japan, yeah.
Oh really?
It was like this, but massive. I'm talking like.
Oh, massive.
Huge, bro.
But you can do the thing. I don't know why people don't do this. You just need to put a servo.
Yeah.
That's constantly rotating.
That does, yeah.
You don't even need any code. There's like stuff that makes the servo rotate.
Remember my wonky window that I did back in the day?
And put that in front of a gate.
Yeah.
And put a little stick on that servo.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like a
windscreen wiper.
Windscreen wiper.
Like a gate
and you go like,
wiper.
oh, where do I go? Where do I go? And now, pow. Yeah.
See?
It's not that hard.
Simple enough additions.
What board have you
make
sent
it a bit
to
more fun.
have the optical flow target? It's called Maytech optical flow and LiDAR sensor. You can just Google that and you should be able to find it.
So John Atkins put there battle drones. I've seen the ones that are on Amazon.
No, we want to do this with.
You want it on the tiny whoops, and then that will let us go to brushless and all the rest of it.
So right now, we can have.
We can have.
Yes. So we can have tiny whoop battle drones already today.
You can buy a battle drone.
No. Tiny Whoop battle drone.
Tiny Whoop one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can make a Tiny Whoop battle drone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can make it.
Yeah.
But you have to control with your phone.
Okay.
So it exists already.
But hang on, couldn't you octopus it back out into a pad? Maybe. You know, we do use octopus, as you see our little steering wheel action.
Into what? Into a.
Do you want it onto sticks?
Can you connect your for Android? Yes, you'd be able to do that actually.
There you go.
Yeah, for Android.
Because I really want to do dogfighting, like really badly.
Yeah. Well, we can do that
really badly.
So what I want.
Oh shit! Could you add the dogfighting to that? You know that vision recognition thing that could see a certain color or something. So it could lock on to you.
No, you need a computer. Lock on! Lock on!
Lock on! Like,
no, not yet.
Okay, but I still want to do tiny.
So
I want to do tiny dogfighting.
What I need next, the way that I've done this is basically the same way that the internet car works.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
So
Actually, you could battle someone with a tiny whoop that they don't have to even be here.
And the tiny whoops are in the same room. So hang on, you could have people. You could have a guy in Italy and a guy in Russia battling a tiny whoop in France.
Yeah.
Doing a little race in France.
Yeah,
like that. You could get to that stage.
Could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But for that to actually work properly, it would need to be stabilized. That's why we need the INF.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, it depends on the internet connection and all of that. Otherwise, it might be laggy and stuff. But if it's stabilized, lag
but if it's the lag
doesn't matter.
is gone.
Like you turn left, it turns left, and then it just stops and stays there.
And it's not going to crash.
Yeah. Unless you go like, full forward and leave it there for a minute. It's not moving. I'll just leave it far forward for a minute. Obviously, it's going to crash. So that we can have that.
We can have that.
Yes, but you can control it with the phone.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I want is not that.
No. We always want more.
What I want is,
There's
and
more.
I'm close to getting it.
Yeah.
But I don't, I have I have like a billion projects all running at the same time.
There is a couple.
My brain is divided into 16 different sectors.
Segments.
And all of that segments is processing at full power constantly.
Okay.
So either you clone me,
China,
or you get someone
that. Can we get a Carlito, please?
Yeah. Or we get someone that also knows.
He's very useful.
Also knows Arduino and wants to help with this, but you have to like. Really
I've got an Arduino project that I've got no idea how to do, but
which one? The thing.
Yes.
Oh, it's been done already.
It hasn't been done already.
No, it's being done. I'm doing.
Oh, you're doing? Is that one of the 16?
Yes.
Oh, great. Oh, it is. Can you make that one a bit bigger? Make that one a bit wider.
A lot of process. I only have 2 hands as well, so it's like hard to like type and solder with my feet.
Can you put a soldier line between your toes?
Listen.
Yeah, you should be able to do it that way. So there's projects coming.
Yeah. So what I want to do is, and this is possible, I think.
Okay.
Is read. So right now, what's being done is the phone is sending a command through Wi-Fi.
Yes.
To a little Wi-Fi thing that's on the drone, a Wi-Fi Arduino that's on the drone, and that Wi-Fi is decoding the command that's being sent from this into SBus.
Yes.
That's all.
Yep. So it's like a little receiver. So it's like a Wi-Fi receiver.
Yes.
Instead of it being DSMX or FR Sky,
it's Wi-Fi.
It's Wi-Fi.
And what I want is, instead of that, doesn't have to be Wi-Fi.
Doesn't have to be Wi-Fi.
There's a regular receiver. There's a regular drone. And in the middle, it's called the middleman.
Yeah.
Is this other receiver. That when you go forward, the receiver tells that little Arduino board, hey, I want to go forward. And that Arduino board passes the command to the flight controller saying like, oh, the receiver is telling me to go forward. And it goes forward. Yeah. But that little board also has a little shooting IR and a receiver IR.
Yeah.
So if it gets shot.
And the height thing.
And the what?
And the height.
You can have it there. That's independent. Doesn't matter.
Right, so that's another board.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you get shot.
Yep.
Suddenly, when this says forward, the middleman is gonna say, "Hey, he's saying forward, but actually I've been shot, so I'm gonna send you backwards." For example.
Or make you spin round.
Or make you spin round because it says like if the shot has been triggered.
Yeah.
For the next 10 seconds or whatever you want to do. It doesn't. It's like imagination at this point. That command that this is sending is going to be read, but sent in a different way to the flight controller. That's all it is. And it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You can make it dance if you wanted to.
Or slowly list.
For
the next 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You're flying like this.
Yes. And you have to like counter it.
You have to counter it.
Yeah. For it to fly. Yeah, that's.
Because you've taken damage.
Yes, that's.
Yeah, and that's the bit that is not going to work. Yeah. How much latency will it cause? I don't think it will cause.
There's no latency because it's just reading, writing.
Well, it's reading and deciding, so it's going to be very quick. It's
the decision is.
It got hit. It's looking for that sensor at the back. Yeah.
The decision is
sensor at the back, okay. Sensor at the back, okay. Just keep passing. Sensor at the back got a problem.
Yeah.
Do this.
The latency is 1 millisecond.
But it's not going to be latency. It's just passing through.
Yeah, well, there is, because it needs to action code.
That's not latency latency.
I don't know, but it needs to read the receiver and then action the code. So that latency is 1 millisecond.
At best, yeah.
No, it's 1 millisecond because the code runs every millisecond.
Through. Well, that's just normal code running time, then, isn't it?
Yeah. But every millisecond the code runs.
So that's it. Bad. That's not
bad. Well, 1 millisecond.
It's like a millisecond. It's like that. It's not even that. It's quicker than that, isn't it?
Yes.
Quicker than that.
Millisecond.
Yeah.
It's not a second or half a second. It's 1/1000th of a second.
So there's very, very little delay there.
Yes.
And then you're just going to add the damage.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the shooting would be separate. Doesn't need to be involved in any of that.
It's the same thing. Oh no, but it's,
you know what I mean?
But the shooting is the same thing. So when the receiver is sending the button next to the arm.
Wait.
That's gonna read that. Oh, channel 6 is being active.
Yes.
And the middleman is gonna say, oh, channel 6 means fire.
Fire.
And you pop fire.
This LED.
And you can even do like a little gist of the thing. Doesn't matter. You can do
recoil.
Whatever you want.
You could make it recoil. If you have a big gun, do you know what I mean? Like if you have little machine guns, because you could pick up power then. But, like you could really gamify it. Like you could pick up power and have a machine gun and then pick up a cannon.
Yes.
But it gives you a bit of recoil. Yes. The machine gun just fires.
So right now,
cannon gives that, but it gets a bigger field.
Right now we have half of that.
Or 2 damage.
We have I can send modified S-Bus code.
Yes.
I can send it.
Yes.
But I can't read it yet.
And you haven't got anything picking anything up. You've got no shooting.
No. As soon as I can read what a receiver is sending to the flight controller.
Yeah.
Or just like it's gonna be that board.
Okay.
That's it. We've got it. That's all we need. That's all I need.
So you need to understand S-Bus. Because it's sending S-Bus, isn't it?
It's I need to understand how to write, how to read
the language of S-Bus. Like
it's all in programming.
I know, but that's what you're asking is what's the.
But someone's already made this.
I'm sure someone out there has made it. They're very smart people out there.
Which Tiny Whoop flight controller? So together with this guy, I forgot his name again.
You just said it.
Hooper. No, Hooper. Daniel Hooper. There we go. Together with Daniel Hooper, we are trying to
put it onto what?
Let me see if I can find it. Tinywhoop.com, because I don't remember the board.
As a certain board.
Flight controllers. Crazy Bee F4 1 to 3S brushless iFlight.
Okay.
So that's the board that we're gonna try and first to do, because this board has 2 available UARTs. One is for the receiver, and you need a separate UART, like an empty UART, for the sensor.
Yes.
But we don't know 100% sure if this board is gonna work, because this board doesn't have that requirement that INF has, which is a enabled barometer. So what Daniel is going to try to do is going to say, hey INF, you no longer need that requirement.
Yes.
Let the surface mode enable. But I don't know the magic of what these devs made.
Or fake that it has the requirement.
Yeah.
Fake that it has that.
Or fake that it has a requirement. But I don't know if it actually is using the barometer in some crazy way. I don't think it is, because it's the LiDARs telling it what the position, how high you are. The barometer doesn't have any
maybe the
play
barometer, the code for barometer is what's doing the bit that's keeping you at height.
But it's not like it's I've tried with only a barometer.
Yeah.
So alt mode is barometer only.
Yeah.
And the drone is like this.
It's too random.
Yeah, because it's the pressure. Barometer is like on pressure around you, and that pressure, if it changes a little bit, it's like, oh, you're 5 meters. No, you're 6. No, you're 4.
So it's
no,
like
you're 5.
Someone farted in the room and you'll go up.
Yeah, exactly. Or it doesn't need that fart. It's just like slight wind or humidity or whatever changes, and the world is on constant change, right? It can't get one thing stable. So this barometer for it is 5 meters, right? But it's like whoa, because like no, you're going down, you're going up, you're going down.
Enabling the barometer comes with a pack of code. Maybe that's what's needed.
I don't know. That's for
do you know what I mean? That bit
for Daniel to try and figure out.
Interferes with the motors and the ESCs. This bit of code that says go up, go down.
Oh no, that's just regular code. That's not the barometer. The barometer just says you are at this height. Yes. And then there's code to interpret what the flight controller needs. Do you need to go up and down?
Okay, but that's doing it because
I don't know.
The barometer's gone.
At most there is a chance. So. At most there's a chance that it won't work because the barometer code is too deep into the code and you can't remove it. I reckon what's
going to happen is you're just going to have to just enable barometers on, and it's 10. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like fake it through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barometers on, it's 10, but don't just ignore that. Do it from this one.
Yes. But that's the thing. I think surface. So it's the mode called surface that follows the surface.
Sure. Yeah.
It uses only LiDAR. And that's the only thing we need. We don't need it to be like outside and figure out if it goes over a building or whatever. We just need to stay and to
So it should work.
It should work
fairly easy.
If it doesn't work, then we have to find a tiny board that has at least 3 UARTs. One is for the receiver, the other one is for the sensor, and the other one is for the barometer. Because from my understanding, there's no like advanced tiny board that has a barometer on it.
You know, in this day and age, it wouldn't be overly difficult to get stuff made up. Sure, you have to get a few hundred and all the rest of it.
Sure, but the problem is not just making that stuff, is then getting the INAV, because if you make something new, completely new, the code, the firmware for that is not going to exist anywhere.
So we still need the code done anyway.
Yeah.
Either way around.
Even worse, because that code is not going to exist anywhere.
Oh, so you need code written from the ground up kind of thing. That's
for that board. No, not for ground up, but you're going to have like technical specs and all that stuff and some...
Not so good. Not so good. So Mr. Shady's agreeing with you there, saying that his altitude hold has got issues. Yeah. Because it is, like you say, the barometer is a bit weak as a sensor.
But that's altitude. With surface, what I think is happening is surface mode enables the view only for the LiDAR, and the quad, I swear, it's like rock solid. It just stays there. It doesn't go up or down.
Because it's looking at pixels.
And you can poke it with stuff, and if you put something underneath it, it goes, ooh, and if you take it out, it goes, ooh. That's it.
So could they have that in 6 different directions then, pretty much?
You need ports all around.
Ports. You need another 5 more ports. There you go.
Maybe, but then the code doesn't know.
Hey Phil, Phil's joined us.
Hey Phil.
Phil's the guy that cut the iris gate.
Oh, is it? Have you got it to work manually yet?
Have you put it together?
So the most important thing before you put the code and before you put the servos, I mean, you can put the servo. You need to figure out where the servo is going to go anyways.
Yeah.
But the most important part is to make the hardware function manually as smoothly as you can. Like you should, with your pinky, you should be able to open up the iris gates on and off. Like you shouldn't have any effort doing that. Otherwise, if it doesn't work like that, the servo
big problems.
Is not going to be able to open the iris gate easily.
Well, that's what I've been saying. So,
so for that to work,
this cog here, it had to be a really big cog and a powerful servo in the end, in order to make that smoothly close and open like that. So that cog there, oh no, can't stop it there. Should have stopped it at the start. But so that he has to be careful, Phil. You've just got to be careful with that. How you're going to get that cog relationship. You could do it differently. You could put a bar on, if you wanted to. But how you're going to get this cog and this one together. And I'm really interested in seeing him doing it. Very excited to see it. Yeah,
and we could make like this is interesting because with a very slight change to the code, you could have a mouse that will eat your tiny whoop, like what just happened there. Yeah? But you could have a lotus. It's not a lotus flower. What's the other one? What's the one that?
Venus flytrap.
You could have a Venus flytrap for whoops.
Yes.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be. It'd be mental.
So you could have something that's open.
That's open, and as you fly and you're close.
And when it detects RSSI, it has X chance, like a random chance that it's gonna close or not. Shutting. So not always, but it has a random chance that it's gonna close on you or not. It'll close very quick, and then it'll open very slowly for dramatic effect.
For dramatic effect.
Like waiting. Once it's open, like if it's opening, you know it's probably safe to go through.
Could you not do it like opening? An actual Venus flytrap and not use RSSI? So I have to.
What, like something that you touch?
So you've got long, thispy hairs, yeah, like that, and you're talking about a thing this big, really.
It could be very small, doesn't matter.
Well, you're going to be struggling to catch a whoop in this small. Like it's got to be this big to catch the action. It would be two nice, like buckety shapes like that.
But if you get it smaller, you can make it.
Or could you not just put two nets there, like fish nets? You know, like you get the two big fish nets.
But that'll be an interesting, very evil.
Very evil. Very.
Coarse artifact.
Like look, the.
So what? When you pass through the.
And you touch the brush, but if you touch two, because Venus flytraps, and if you touch one, it doesn't close.
But how would you? Well, you will make it work.
You'd have to touch. Yeah, step them out. It's got to have some balls on it.
Metric tricky to find here. Because in the
US. They've got Imperial out there. So yeah,
it's about 70-inch feet.
Oh yeah, I made all that in metric. Oh, he will never be able to make it. So you know, it's just got to be able to have enough things to turn that, which is that's why that second cog is so big. Yeah, and why it's got a nice metal geared servo in there. Yeah.
And get a big servo as well.
So yeah, I do like the idea of
a fly trap,
evil traps. Yeah, like I like that thing in Japan. That's the one I wanted to show you. Was that it was one that was a mouth. Yeah. Like this, and I think only one bit moved. Yeah. Yeah. And then there was one that was like lobster hands.
Yeah,
like this.
I think I've seen this.
Yeah, maybe. And it went like that, and you had to go through it. But I like Tristan gave it to us as well, and I saw this 2-3 years ago. There was a German race, and they had 3 circles side by side. Yeah, and you could go through any one of those circles. And what I wanted was, that's great, but I want to make it a wall. So there's no chance you have to go through one of those circles. Yeah. But I want to put LED rings on each circle, and so one circle is green.
And that's what you have to go through.
That's the one you have to go through. And at some point, another circle will go green, and you can't go through the one that you just went through because that'll turn red. So the other 2 are red. This one is green.
And it closes.
And if you add iris gates to it as well.
You don't even need iris gates. You just need like something that a servo that moves. You don't need to,
but the game is that you fly through it when it's green. Yeah. But you need something to detect you if you've flown through it when it's red. So say you've flown through red, like a warning.
I would just close it. I would just close it when it's red.
But you're making way more mechanicals. But yeah, if it would be closing it would be good. Yeah, but for my mind would be. The randomness, because as you're flying towards it, you've got one is green, but there's a high probability that it's going to change. So do you aim for the green one, or are you going to for whichever? Which one do I go for? If it's the middle one,
that's so evil.
Yeah, am I going for because it's going to change? You just don't know when. Yeah. Yeah, and that's quite easy. There's nothing mechanically moving there. It's just lights.
No. Yeah, but then you can go through the red and. If nothing happens,
but if you're sensed when you've gone through the red...
But that's much harder to do.
What, the sensing you?
That it's you.
No, anyone that's gone through the red. It doesn't matter that it's me.
How would you know?
Because it'll be red, and then someone will go through, and the sensor behind will pick it up,
and then say what?
And go meh 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 meh.
And then you just go, oh, someone went through the red. What does it matter?
Yeah, but you've lost your 10 seconds on your thing, or your 1 second.
How does it know it was you and not the bloke next to you flying through it? That's much harder.
You know, you're watching it.
You're watching it.
We're just giving you a warning.
Shut up.
I just think it'll be fun.
No, you can do something that closes the gate.
I just think it'll be fun.
And that's something small actually that you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's very hard to do.
Relatively easy. Arduino-y. Even if you didn't have the sensor thing and it was just the excitement of which one you're gonna. Even if you put them in a triangle pattern, it don't have to be that long. Yeah. But the fact that do I go for this one, or do I maybe aim at the other ones? Am I going to rush through to get through before it goes yellow, before it changes colour? Yeah?
How small?
Or you could do traffic lights. You could have one red, one yellow, and one green. So the green one is going to turn yellow in a minute, and the yellow one's going to turn green, and the red one's going to turn yellow. Yeah?
What?
And it will all rotate. And it will all change.
That's too complicated.
Randomly change. So you're not going to go for the green one. So you've narrowed it down now. So you've got the green one is lit now.
It's going crazy.
And the yellow one's going to be lit in an indeterminate time of seconds between now and you get there.
Maybe.
Do you aim for the yellow?
But then how small is that gate going to be?
Gate size, man. Gate size.
Gate size? That's really big.
What do you mean that's big? That's not big.
To put LEDs all around there.
Yeah, the LEDs are that way.
Because it was something small like this.
But what I'm trying to get to is that it's an automation.
Oh.
Ultimately, the bottom line of it, is an automation.
You know what would be
just
nice?
Randomly running.
Do you know that program Banzai? Is very old.
The hit the wall.
The castle of something.
Oh, the Takeyashi Castle.
Takeyashi Castle.
That
yes.
one.
Well, they ran to the door.
And they've got to go.
And they have to go through the door. No. There was like doors.
Yeah.
This was outdoors.
Okay.
And there was like a wall, and they had 3 doors, and they had to run as fast as they could into the door. And sometimes it was a piece of wood, and sometimes it was just like paper mache.
Okay. So how are you going to translate that? So, what you can have blinding lights. What you'll have is 3 blinding lights, so you can't see. So only 2 of them are holes, and one of them is so. And they change.
It can't be blinding heights because you'd still be able to see.
Well, you can't. You're not going to burst through paper in your whoop.
Why not?
You're not.
If it's very light
paper. A whoop isn't going to burst through paper.
I've done it before.
It struggles, bro. It struggles. We did it here. We did it here.
No.
We even cut the paper and all that.
We did it in the what was it called? That show that we went to Canary Wharf.
Oh, BGC.
Yes.
Yes, to end. Yeah. And we had to cut it and all that because it weren't quite going to make it.
It's like boom.
Yeah.
But imagine it's the one that's cut.
You can't have that. No, you can't. Maybe smoke, and there's a post that comes up behind the smoke. Yeah, or something. Because I also like that game that Jesse plays with the shooting targets. Have you seen BB guns?
Yeah.
And you get these little 3-round targets
on
the sticks like that, and when you shoot it, it drops.
Yeah.
And when you shoot the 3rd one, they all come back up again.
Okay.
So you go shoot, back up, shoot.
Yeah.
So and Jesse had 6 of them, 9 of them, or something.
I didn't see that.
And he had them all set out, and they was just charging at it with the whoop.
Okay.
And like how many you could knock down, like bowling, but with whoops. That would be quite fun.
Whoop bowling.
Yes. So
I like challenging part of the course could also be something that fogs up your view.
Smoke, but contains
like smoke. But has the course inside of the smoke. So you have to go slowly, or you're gonna miss the course.
So imagine if we got a really big box. So let's talk about like a fridge box.
Yeah.
Yeah, the size of a fridge.
And inside you have a course,
and inside that
with LEDs, but you can't really see.
But the smoke is inside there.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be quite hard, or even bigger box. Do you know what I mean? But you're inside it. Yeah, that would be quite nice, like a maze.
Yeah, maze. Yes. Yeah.
And you don't quite know which way you've got to go, or even if it's just a down and then a right.
Yeah.
Even that would be hard.
And inside, you have this big sumo wrestler that if it grabs you, it throws you in the river. That's Takeyashi Castle again.
What happened then? What?
You never seen Takashi Castle?
I have, but you know.
I love that.
It's a great show.
When I was a kid.
No, it's a great show. It is. I love it. I like the slippery slide stuff. You know when they're trying to climb up a staircase and it's all slippery and they go and they fall down and they take out 3 more people. I can't help it. I love it. I can't help it.
There would be yeah. I'm getting some ideas.
Yeah. All right, great. Well, this is the point of this conversation.
If you get like
to give people ideas.
Whoop rings.
Whoop rings.
But those whoop rings actually they're a postal service.
Huh?
You know how you put those packages and go.
Oh, like the vacuum.
But the other way around.
And they're blowing.
So no, they're blowing. You just go inside.
You're cannon and people across the course.
No, you go inside and you slide in one of those.
Huh. And that's to have like a funnel entry though. If you had a funnel entry,
it can be tiny. You just approach it small, and then as soon as you're in, you're in.
You're in and sliding.
Sliding. You can't. You just disarm and hope for the best
until it comes out.
Until it comes out.
But like Jesse's slide.
Like Jesse's slide, but
way smaller as a pipe.
And if you have 3, you have to say no. One of them takes you out of the trajectory.
One of them push you outside. That's silly. That's silly. Yeah, it's getting silly now. All right, so yeah, I can see it like loads of different ways.
Use smoke and lasers.
Yeah, smoke and lasers look awesome. Yeah, definitely.
And if you have like in the middle of the smoke, if you have like lit pylons.
Yeah.
Of the place that the whoop needs to go.
Sure.
That will be a lot more.
Well, you could just do it with the lasers, like talking about lasers.
Yeah.
Lasers through smoke are beautiful. Yeah. And another thing, EL, electroluminescence, does not disperse in smoke, so it comes straight.
Yeah.
So if you just had a smoky space, because the problem is smoke disperses.
Yeah.
But and you just pointed those lasers, and that's the tunnel.
Yes.
Stay within the lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need 4 lasers or something. You know what I mean?
I would just even say like follow the thing to get out in the right place.
What, the path? Or
follow the path. So with EL.
Yeah.
Just make a path where you have to go out in the right place.
Okay, so how are you going to now translate this to a village hall? Like you've almost made. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got walls and divisions and all this.
And smoke just everywhere.
How are you going to translate this to one room?
But you can have a pipe. You can have a small pipe. That would be interesting. I think like the postal delivery.
I'm not sure about the pipe. I'm a bit.
Postal delivery.
I don't think I'd ever get in the bus.
Just one. I just get a bigger entrance, and you just like you throw it in, and it goes like.
I just don't think I'd fit.
You just throw. You get like a big.
Like a funnel.
A funnel at the entrance.
And you just fall in the funnel, like Marble Olympics.
Yes, you fall in.
Yeah.
Obviously, the better skill you have, the better you would fall in, so you go out in a straight way and not upside down.
So you've got to fall in because you're coming out in.
But that's with everything, right? With any gate, if you have better skill, you can go through the gate, not go like bounce off it and go up and down, right?
I think he's making a real hard challenge here.
No, it's not hard, because that part is up to you and kind of not up to you.
Kind of, but you know you haven't looked at the other end of this tube.
No, the tube is just.
But no, I've got to rearm and be flung out at some speed.
Yes.
And rearm in the air.
You don't need to rearm. You can just like drop throttle.
Drop throttle, okay, and then catch myself back out at the other end of the slide.
You just slide.
I think it's dangerous.
I think that would be very cool.
It would be fun.
Yes.
I'm not denying the fun element of it, but could I not just do that with a long cardboard box? Do I need it to be like a scary tube?
A scary tube would be nicer because it's impossible to get stuck inside.
You think? Maybe, but
it's impossible. How are you going to get stuck inside?
You're not going to get stuck inside of a square box either.
You are in the sides or something. You can always get stuck.
It's at an angle, isn't it? Are you not sliding?
Yeah, but you can always get stuck.
You're not going to fly through the tube, are you?
No. But if it's a PVC pipe, it's impossible. You put something in it, you're not going to get stuck. Where are you going to get stuck inside?
That's a big pipe, though. That's
like this.
That's a toilet. That's a stack pipe.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be 10 meter long.
All right, we can try it. Look, I'm not saying no, don't try it. I'm just not sure.
I would think that would be a lot of
sure.
fun to have in a track.
Yeah, I think it would be right interesting.
Especially because you're going in the tunnel, you're disoriented. But it's the same thing that I had in Jesse's little thing. That was amazing. I don't know why I didn't use that.
What, the slide?
Because I would bump on top of the slide.
3 slides now.
I know. I would bump on top of the slide and then would just go whee, whoop, but didn't use it in the.
No, I think it's quite complex to get into it.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying, because the slide is a bit more open-ended. But if you have a tube, there's no open-ended. You have to go as soon as you're in.
You know, I was just thinking while you're saying
and
that,
go whoop.
If you had that tube and looking at, like, I've got one up there. There's a little black pipe there. That's a Y pipe.
Yes.
Yeah. You could blast air down that Y pipe, and
it flung you out.
It would shoot you out. Like.
Yeah, you can do
Do you think that you could catch your drone if I cannoned you out of a pipe?
Yeah.
Like, if I had you sitting there, would that be an interesting way to start a race?
Oh yes, yeah. That you're in the tube.
Like
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. And you're cannoned out of a tube. Do you know what I mean? That, I think, would be a really interesting way to start a, like like the bikes, they've got that cage thing in front that drops, isn't it? Yeah. Whereas right now it's just like everyone's all bouncing and go.
That would be a nice thing to start as well, a race, wouldn't it? Like, no, something that just like boop and you go.
Yeah, you want that, don't you? I want it to be visual.
Yeah.
That lets me go. But if I could get fired out of a cannon, do you think you could catch yourself getting fired out of a cannon? I think that might be a bit difficult. What do you guys think?
Catch yourself? Yeah.
Do you think you could catch yourself?
It would be interesting in the very.
Yeah, if you could get fired out of some kind of air cannon. So which way would you want to be in the cannon? So if there's the tube. Yeah. Do you want to be looking at the side on your motors?
I want to be forward.
Or you want to be forward?
Forward. I want to see the exit.
So it can't be a round tube then. You'd have to make it like a whoop shape. Tube.
Why?
Because the round tube, you'll slip round like that.
And it just has to be a square one. It just has to be a square tube.
Do you know what I mean? It has to be some kind of square tube. You can get square ducting, you know that. You can get square air conditioning ducting. Yeah, so if we slide you into that tube like that.
It's crazy hour.
And they just cannon you out, bro. So it would be awesome. Then you like
I'll be scared like arm your quads. Oh! And it would be better if you put it in the tube and it goes, ladies and gentlemen, arm your quads, and it started like oh shit! Be like a really whoop roller coaster. Get ready! I'm not ready to do it.
No, look, let's get serious a second.
That would be cool. That would be super cool.
You'd have to have some kind of backing behind the whoop to take the pressure of the air. Do you understand what I mean? Because otherwise the air will rush past the whoop.
No, I think it would push the whoop. If it's all very smooth, I think it would push the whoop.
I reckon you'd have to have a wall.
You don't have to, listen, you don't
literally push that whoop out.
Like, you don't have to like fling it 10 meters across the room. It's just out of the tube will be fine.
No!
Out of the tube will be fine. Out of the tube it will just be like...
come out of that tube at some speed.
Oh!
You gotta come out of that tube. I want this. I want a whoop cannon. Seriously.
I mean, you could just make a spring, I guess, that just launches the whoop.
Spring, but that means you'd have to have a base thing that pushes you off. Oh, you're just saying like a little carriage, not even a tube. Just like you're sitting there and it just fucks you off. Remember that squirrel thing? Did you ever see that squirrel video?
No.
There was a guy, he had a basket. Yeah. Evil, man, evil. He had a basket and bungee cords.
Yeah.
And then food in there, and the squirrel comes along and he goes in, and he eats it, and the basket flings him off it.
Don't do this to animals.
No.
Although it's fun.
Don't do it to animals. It's silly. It's wrong. But that propulsion.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm going for? You're sitting there,
squirrel.
but like you're sitting there waiting to launch, aren't you? Waiting to race.
Yeah.
So poof, all that, and then you've got to get control. I just think that would be brilliant. Am I alone in this?
I think it can't be too fast, otherwise the whoop is gonna have like something weird is gonna happen to the whoop.
It can't be too slow because it's boring.
It's not boring. You're getting catapulted out of the. How is that boring?
Catapulting implies speed.
I think it can even be like something
It
super
implies
tiny.
speed.
You just see the.
It
can be like this tiny. It doesn't.
It would be nice to have that you're in a tube in your FPV view.
And it launches you.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
With speed. Oh, okay. Right.
And you don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's the bit I like. Yeah, because when you're racing, you actually decide you're taking off. Yeah. Even though it's buzzing and you're all excited and you're still doing it. Whereas this way, you've been launched, bro. You've been launched.
It wouldn't be very difficult to do this in a mechanical way.
Just putting a
little elastic band. No. Like even more mechanical.
Real simple mechanicals.
Yeah. You have like this, right?
Yeah. A tube in a tube, really. I was going to do.
A tube in a tube.
Piston in a tube.
You just need a square rectangle tube.
Yeah.
That the whoop fits in.
Yeah.
Nicely. You have a string attached to your sides and something like this that is attached to the tube. And then you go through the back.
Oh, so you're saying? Oh, so like you're saying like that kind of catapult?
Yeah.
Like the elastic band catapult style.
Doesn't matter.
Just launch you out.
Yeah. And as soon as you remove the thing, this pushes you and
you pull the pin and the bungee yanks you out.
We want to see this. Who's going
to be the first person to be launched? Who's going to launch a whoop out of a cannon?
That'll be interesting.
With or without pyrotechnics, we don't mind. Yeah, we don't mind with or without pyrotechnics.
That would be an awesome thing to start a race.
Yeah, I think that'd be.
You just see like 4 whoops.
And you press that button.
And maybe I don't know if.
And you all start at the same time. Like it's perfect.
I don't know if it would create chaos, if the whoop would like it, or if it would be like super hard to.
Would tumble, you think?
Yeah. Right away.
You'd have to see. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm trying to say about the angle. Because let's say you're going out at that angle, where is your flight angle is there.
Yes.
So you need to be at flight angle so that as soon as you've been pushed, and you put throttle on, you're still. If you've been pushed at this angle and you put throttle on, it's going to try and change. That's when it'll bust up. If you're gonna as soon as you put throttle on, attain the angle that you're already in, just faster, yay and dake, then I think you'll be fine. Yeah, if you try and turn over, you're gonna have problems. Yay and dake. Yin is on yay and dake. Yeah, tamam. Yeah, so you can understand that issue. Yeah. Is which angle are you going to be launching? So you're launching with your camera facing forward, say, and your motors are facing up. Backwards, because
use air charge 300 bar and fire.
Yeah, which way is your
Yeah.
Which way are you coming out? Because when you come out, you're going to put motors on.
No, you're already armed.
Before. Yeah, you're armed, air mode, armed, waiting.
Praying.
But as soon as you come out of here, you have to throttle, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you can't throttle in the tube because you'll hit the wall.
Yeah.
You'll hit the roof. So you have to wait till you get out to throttle. But if you're at this attitude when you've come out, you're going to throttle like that, and that is what's going to happen and send you over. If you come out at this angle and throttle, I think you'll just carry on.
Maybe. But then you're not going to look at the thing, you're just going to look at the wall.
Yeah, kind of. You're going to, I don't know where you're going to look. That's exactly right. You're going to look at the bottom of the wall.
You have to be like, so if this is the quad that flies like this, then you're going to have to be like this.
No, I think you're going to have to be there.
No, like this.
No.
You just go.
Because you don't fly at that angle.
Hey, yeah, you fly at this angle.
That was not. You just had it way more than that, but okay. Yeah, there.
It doesn't matter. Like you just level this to whatever you want, but you're gonna be looking at the wall, and then you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could even put a sticker on the inside of the wall that says "Get ready," and then put black and white stripes on the inside so it zooms past you. I really like it.
You're never gonna see that.
I really like it. You could do it with air chargers as well. I'm liking pneumatics. So does anyone that knows about pneumatics and XY planes, talk to me. I've got an idea.
Another idea.
I got a different idea.
Different idea.
Yeah. So yes, that would be a great way. So another, there's again, it goes back to how far do you want to impose on the guys that's already doing so much? Like, great, air cannon this and illuminated lights that, but they've still got to take that home.
Yeah.
They've still got to set up. They've got to go there for an hour and a half, 2 hours before everyone else turns up.
Yeah.
To put it all in place.
Yeah.
This is where I think we're losing.
Because we don't have a fixed.
Because location. This.
Do it.
This space that is, that it's there. Look, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday through Thursday, it's there. Yeah. It's hard to do a race course, bros. That's why I'm not really interested in getting a village hall, because I'm going to end up with what I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want that kind of a course.
You want to build something big that can stand, can stay there.
And we've not just that, but like we've come from like that place we had in Tottenham. It was great, bros. Yeah. We was flying the building.
Yeah.
We wasn't flying
a race course.
A course.
Yeah.
We was flying the room, the building. Yeah. And I think that's where, if
I
could
like
encourage anyone.
3 gates or 4 gates. The rest was already.
I think there was.
Done
there was 2 gates that can't even count as gate because they was going around the window space.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was the sky tunnel, which again is not really a gate. You had the ones on the ground for interest.
Yeah.
And we had the only gates we really had would be the ones on top of the caravan.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the only, and the one on the car, because I was targeting you to those points. Yeah. But the rest of it was all building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
All right. Let me check one thing, because
check something before we end, because we're hitting that couple of hours mark, and we don't want to, overstay our welcomes. Yeah. We really appreciate people watching us and listening to us just have wild, crazy chats.
How long have we been on?
Yeah, we're hitting the 2 hours.
2 hours. Oh God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want to check Mixer.
Yes.
Because we are streaming this in Mixer as well.
Yes.
Welcome to Mixer. Let me use the app actually.
Okay.
Download. Install. So we've been looking at a way to get, with the internet cars and all that.
Yes.
The problem that we're having,
a little bit of lag,
is the lag that people get when they're watching the stream. So obviously the stream that you guys are watching now on Facebook or on YouTube is not really usable, because it takes place in like 30 seconds more or whatever.
A few seconds behind us.
So
there, see, it hasn't happened yet.
So there is.
That's quite nearly a minute. Wow.
There is something called another streaming platform, which we're actually streaming to right now. Called Mixer. Which I haven't used before, but I got Wesley from Tiny Whoop, US people, told me that the lag here was much less. So what I want to do is try and find cosplay gamer. Is that it? Nothing found. How would I find that?
I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know what you're looking for.
I'm looking for my channel.
It's here, look.
Oh, view channel. Mixer, one cosplay game. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I'm looking for my channel. Okay, so take away the sound. Okay. And it doesn't seem to be that fast, actually.
All right, so what you're looking at there now is Carlos's Mixer channel.
Yeah.
On our channel.
Oh my God, there's too many.
So there's
but the problem is that
you can see the difference in the time between the two, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you have the mixer inside of the mixer inside of the mixer
inside the mixer, because we're looking at our mixing of the mixer.
So it seems that let me see if I can find the channel here on my phone to see if it's any faster.
That's really weird.
Yeah, take that away.
That's so weird.
Okay, what did it say? Mixer.com /
That's so strange.
one cosplay.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Gamer. Okay. Stream is for mature audiences. Oh, we're mature.
Are we?
Okay, so let's see.
I'm immature.
What's the delay on this? Oh, what are you showing?
I'm just changing channels, changing pages, just to see how long it takes before it changes on that one.
So let's see. I'm immature. Yeah.
Wow, that still took ages.
Yes, so this is still not the ideal that we want. Maybe I'm missing some
kind of setup stuff, was it? Maybe. But so if you know where I'm at, what the question is if you know a better way to do the streaming that we're trying to get to.
Yeah, because ideally we want almost like peer-to-peer, but
without letting you into my ports.
Yes.
So portless peer-to-peer.
Portless peer-to-peer.
Peer to port to peer. Something like that. Yeah.
It's odd because when Wesley done it, he said that there was like a millisecond. Not a millisecond, sorry, like 15 milliseconds.
He felt it was very quick. Maybe it's because we're going through OBS or something like that. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sticking with us for the full 2 hours. Hopefully, next time we're going to have some very good news to say and interesting things.
Are we?
Yeah.
I'm not here next week. Bye.
He's not here next week.
But actually, I have like 4 hours on the train, so maybe I can code some
that
stuff.
gives us a couple of weeks before we're back. So if we've interested you in anything or we've excited you, please go ahead, do it. If you want to ask us any questions, we're always available. Just go do it, have fun, enjoy your hobbies, enjoy your toys, get out there, go for it.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.